All rise. Support Court Judge Vanda B is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB1086, Easley case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Miss Easley, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
So I met Nicole about 9 months ago. She normally comes into town when she is here on a traveling assignment, and the lady next door rents out her home to travel nurses. And so over time, we, kind of clicked and we started hanging out. Her children would come over and play with mine, and we just, became really good friends. And so this particular time, she had another assignment somewhere else, and her current nanny wasn't available. And so I offered to keep the kids. I had just finished special agent school, and I had some downtime. So she was like, well, it'll be about 6 weeks, but I probably just need you for the 2 weeks, and my other nanny will come and get the kids. And I said, okay, cool. I told her, a price. We kind of made the arrangements. And then over time, after the first week, I didn't hear from her. She didn't.
Wait a minute. So after a week of you having her children, she didn't call you, she didn't check on them, no FaceTime, nothing?
I couldn't get her on the phone. I would call. I would send her a text. The kids would even call. I think that the 10-year-old has a phone. He even tried to call. She just wasn't available.
Get ready, because this story starts with a simple favor that spirals into complete chaos. M. Easley met Nicole, a traveling nurse, and agreed to look after her kids while she was away on a short assignment. What was supposed to be a 2-week arrangement quickly turned into silence. Nicole vanished after just 1 week. No calls, no texts, and not a single payment. Even her 10-year-old's attempts to reach her went unanswered. The judge already looked skeptical, but Easley stays calm, detailing every missed check-in. What we're seeing isn't just unpaid babysitting. It's the beginning of a much deeper neglect being uncovered.
And their ages are 10 and
7.
10 and 7. Okay.
Boy and girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the first week, I was like, okay, well, maybe she's just busy. I know nurses, they work 12-hour days. Cool. The second week came around, I didn't get the next payment. The next payment would have been through Venmo. She didn't send me no money. She didn't send the payment. I still couldn't get her on the phone. So at the time, my fiance had just got back in town, probably a couple days after she had left. And I kind of was telling him about what was going on, and he, was like, well, just give her some time, and, just, to me, nonchalant about it in a way. And so he ended up having to go back out of town for an emergency work trip. And so I remember when he left, that next week when I couldn't get on the phone again, I happened to just call him, and I couldn't get him on the phone. And I was just like, okay, something isn't right. My detectors went off, and
Mine
I was
are
like,
too.
okay. So, so I ended up pulling his location, and I realized they were in the same state.
Oh.
I said, well, maybe that's a coincidence. He travels a lot,
He travels a lot.
He travels a lot.
She travels a lot.
She's a travel nurse. She should only be at the hospital. She shouldn't be anywhere else.
Now we hit the betrayal. After Nicole disappeared, Easley reached out to her fiancé, only to find he went off the grid too. Something felt off, so she tracked his location. And guess what? He was in the same state as Nicole. What was suspicious now becomes painfully obvious. When she finally manages to get him on FaceTime, Nicole can be heard in the background. He stumbles over lies, claiming he's about to head into a meeting. The judge leans forward. So do we. This is no longer about childcare. It's about deception. And just like that, the triangle comes into full view.
But they both
who's to
travel
say
a lot.
where I should be, but okay.
Well, who's to say you should wait your turn?
And so, so I end up, I remember I ended up FaceTiming him, and he didn't answer, which is unusual because he would call every night, he would check in. The communication is never our issue. So the next day, now we're probably 2.5 weeks in, I got him on the phone that Wednesday morning, and I happened to hear her in the background.
Keep going.
And so I said, where you at? He said, I'm getting ready to go into a meeting. And I said, oh, okay. And I left it at that.
Oh, wow. I've never held my teacup this long.
So now we're going on now we're 2.5 weeks in. And so I decided to call her again. She ends up calling that probably that afternoon, and was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I've been working and it's just been crazy at work, and you know, I'm sorry about the kids. And so I was like, well, where you say you was at again? And she told me where she was at, and I was just like, well, what happened to the nanny that was supposed to be coming? And I said, I thought I might have heard Michael in the background. Are you sure? You know, you at work? And she kind of got an attitude and got real defensive. And I said, I'm at work, and you know, you offered it to the kids, and I'll get you your money, and just
the audacity.
Yeah.
You're keeping her kids.
All of that.
And you have kids of your own.
Kids of my own.
Wow.
So I have, and they're older, so I don't, you know, have that
Things
problem.
start to unravel fast. Easley confronts Nicole, and her excuses are paper thin. She blames her job, avoids direct answers, and gets defensive when asked about the fiancé and the nanny. Meanwhile, weeks had passed. No visits, no money, no support. Easley tells the judge how her kindness turned into months of unpaid work. This isn't a story about a scheduling mix-up. It's about calculated neglect. And every moment of silence from Nicole during those weeks, it speaks volumes now. You can feel the court shifting, moving closer to a reckoning.
So for her to do that, I was like, okay. So then now we're on the third week. No, nanny didn't show up. I still haven't received payment. And I sent her a text. I was like, look, you need to make an arrangement for your children. I did this out of the kindness of my heart. You know, you got to figure out something. Didn't get a response back. So I ended up getting my fiance back on the phone, and we ended up getting into it. And I said, I asked him the same thing. Where you say you was at again? And I said, well, I talked to Nicole. She said you was with her. I played the reverse psychology thing.
Right.
And he said, huh? Uh-huh. And I said, Nicole said you was with her. You on a work trip? Did you invite her? And so for him, he was like, well, no, man, she popped up on me. And so he didn't know that I really never spoke to her.
Wait a minute. So he went on a secret rendezvous trip with Nicole here.
They both
He
left.
didn't. Excuse me.
I don't even know if she
I was speaking. Hold on 1 second. I was speaking to her. I'll get to you in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so I don't even know if she really was at work. At this point now, me and him into it, I'm about ready to go drop her kids and my kids off somewhere and get in my car and get on the road. So at this point...
You didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. You kind of hesitated.
Changed woman. Yeah, I'm a changed
Oh,
woman.
okay. All right.
Now the case turns from emotional damage to physical destruction. Easley describes what Nicole's kids did to her home: broken cabinets, a busted faucet, clogged toilet, and walls covered in marker scribbles. 3 full months of unpaid chaos. But through it all, Easley never kicked the kids out. She stayed composed, responsible, and made sure they were cared for. The judge takes a moment, clearly struck by Easley's grace under pressure. This isn't just about unpaid labor, it's about doing the right thing when someone else didn't. While Nicole disappeared, Easley became a full-time parent without being asked.
Special agent now, so I have to always think about the things that I do before I do them.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, so that's kind of what happened, and so I'm bringing her here today for non-payment and for the damages that her children caused in my home during their stay.
Okay, so are her children still with you?
They are. She has not came. I can't get in touch with family.
So wait a minute. You have been raising her children all of this time?
All of this time.
No.
Wow. Is there anything else you want me to know? Because Chatterbox over here, she keeps interrupting. So I guess she has a lot she wants to say.
No, just besides, I really just want her to get the kids or find a family, find somebody to come get them. I'm not going to put the children out on the street. You know, that's just not me. But, you know, she needs to come get her kids. The damages, they damaged my garage door. They have just been little rugrats and just tearing up the home, markers on the walls, and damaged the cabinets, and the bathroom faucet is hanging off the faucet wall now.
What kind of kids are these?
The toilet is damaged because they would put tissue in there, and then
Probably her kids.
It was just a mess. Mine is 14.
And
Okay, is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, all right. Now it's your turn.
Nicole finally speaks and immediately makes things worse. Instead of apologizing, she lashes out at Easley, calling her controlling and intrusive. Then, casually, she admits she was staying with the fiancé and that payments were supposedly made from their joint account. But the logic falls apart fast. Why would you use a joint account if you're trying to control the money? The judge is already losing patience. Nicole tries to flip the narrative, but all she's doing is confirming she left her kids behind and tried to dodge the fallout. Her defense is unraveling, and fast.
Hi, Judge.
Hi.
I just want to, first of all, say yes, she is a special agent, and she uses her job on a daily basis. She wants to be in everybody's business, and
I just have one question though. Was your location really where Michael was?
yes,
Oh,
it was.
so you did run off in the
So
sunset
there
with
was
her
no
man.
pop-up. I don't pop up on people.
Right, you just show up.
No, I was already there.
Mm.
Yes. When he came,
So
I was
y'all
already,
planned this.
No, I didn't plan anything.
So tell me how that came about that you all just so happened to be in the same place.
I am on my assignment, so I'm already stationed to where
Well,
I
we
was.
understand your
And
assignment. We do.
I don't know how he came to be in the same city as mine. I don't know how his job works, but he ended up being in the same city as mine. I have made payments to her. They have a joint account, so it's not my responsibility if he gets the money out before she notices it's there.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you be making deposits in their joint account
for
if-
keeping the kids.
No. Wouldn't it make sense for you to just give it directly to her?
Well, that was the agreement that I was to send the money through the account, not exchange of any cash.
Nicole's story keeps spiraling. She says Easley agreed to keep the kids longer, but the judge steps in. Just because someone didn't abandon your children doesn't mean you get a free pass. Nicole says her work assignment got extended, but there's no sign she made any effort to get her kids back. Her answers come off as dismissive, as if parenting was just another optional task. The judge makes it clear, neglect wrapped in excuses is still neglect. Nicole may have asked for a favor, but what she left behind was a full-blown responsibility. And now she has to face the consequences.
So did you tell Michael that the money you were depositing were for their kids?
Yes,
for your
both
kids,
aware
I'm
of
sorry.
that. They were both aware of what the money was going for. I'm not just going to be sending money to a guy. That makes no sense to me. But yes, I was sending her money. She volunteered to watch the kids.
She volunteered to watch them for a temporary basis,
correct.
Not weeks, not months, not to still have them.
Yes, but did she tell you that whenever I would call and tell her that my nanny wasn't available or my contract was extended, that she was like, oh, that's no problem,
Well, I think the only reason she said that is, like she said, she didn't want to put the kids out on the street. That doesn't cue you to say, oh, well, let me just leave my children there, right?
Well, if someone's telling you that's no problem, let them stay, and I'm in a whole nother state, no, I wouldn't want my kids out on the street. But
so
if
you
she's
took that as,
telling
you
me.
took that as let them stay permanently?
No.
While you and Michael run off in the sunset?
No, my assignment is only 6 weeks.
Okay, but after 6 weeks, you still didn't go back and pick them up?
My assignment got extended, and when we communicated with each other, she said that was fine. It was extended 2 more weeks. I'm not going to leave my kids with someone permanently.
Here's where it shifts. The judge calls it out for what it is. Nicole didn't just drop her kids off, she abandoned them. Easley became the only stable adult in their lives. Nicole insists she's planning to pick them up soon, but after 3 months of silence, no one believes her. The court is done waiting. This is no longer a hearing, it's a decision. Nicole is about to be held financially responsible, not for casual babysitting, but for abandoning her role as a parent.
Okay, it sounds like you've done that, and that's the reason that she's here. I mean, we can't necessarily award damages or anything, but you can definitely be placed on child support if your children are going to remain living with her.
They will not.
She's assuming the parental role of them every single day based on what she said.
Voluntarily.
You voluntarily gave them up.
No.
Yes,
I can get my kids.
Yes. Yes, you did.
I can get my kids.
Well, it's a little too late for that. You can go pick them up.
Yes.
But as of today, because they've been with her, how long have they been with you now at this point?
Now 3rd month.
3 months? 3 months? And they've been living with you?
I've been feeding, caring.
And you're still on assignment?
I am.
Okay,
My
you obviously came here to waste my time because you are definitely going to be paying her some sort of support.
In
Now,
addition to what I've been paying her,
how much have you been paying her?
she gets $250 a week.
$250 a week for a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old?
Yes.
She's blowing that in 2 days on groceries.
Yes, but that's what she wanted. That's what she...
Yeah, you came here to waste my time. You playing baby games. No, we're not going to do this. What we are going to do...
The judge runs the numbers, and this part isn't up for debate. Nicole makes $90,000 a year, but had only been sending $250 per week. That doesn't even cover the food bill for 2 kids. So the court recalculates and sets formal child support at $1,417 per month, accounting for health insurance. Nicole looks stunned, like she wasn't expecting reality to hit this hard. But this isn't punishment, it's fairness. Easley has been doing the work of a full-time mom, while Nicole was off the grid using a shared bank account. Support isn't optional when you're still collecting paychecks.
Is put you on child support. Since your children have been living with her this entire time, she's been taking care of them. It doesn't seem like you have any intentions on coming back after your assignment keeps getting extended.
But I'm getting them next week.
Right. On an extended assignment.
Right.
Right.
But I have a nanny.
Okay, well, when you get them back, then you can come back to court and say something different. But until then, I want to make sure that she is at least getting some sort of financial support because you haven't gotten them before now. You're only saying that because you're in court today. I've seen that before. You have to know I've heard that song and dance. Yeah, that's not going to work. So, how much money do you make a year?
$90,000.
Okay. $90,000 and you sent her? Nothing. $250 a week. How much is health insurance?
$250 a month.
And you're paying that, correct?
Correct.
All right. So, your gross is $7,250. You have 2 children. Do you have any other children outside of these 2?
No, I do not.
All right. So that brings your net to $5,667.87. We take that number.
Nicole tries to mount a defense, but the judge isn't moved. Telling someone, you'll get the kids next week, doesn't undo months of abandonment, and it sure doesn't erase financial responsibility. The courtroom energy shifts. This isn't tension anymore. It's resolution. Nicole made her choices. Now the consequences are catching up. And then Easley drops a final shocker. She's heard Nicole is pregnant. The judge's face says it all. Nicole didn't just disappear. She may be preparing to start over with someone else. The court closes in. The ruling lands. Precision delivered.
By 25%, that brings your monthly child support to $1,417. And I gave you credit to your $250 health insurance.
What was
That sounds
the number?
about right.
Did you need me to repeat it or say it
Yes,
louder?
please.
Okay, it's $1,417 per month.
But the kids won't be with her.
Well, they are for now, and they have been for the past 3 months. And your assignment with your assignment with your job got extended. So until you pick them up, that's what the situation will be. Now, if you decide to go pick them up and you keep them, right, don't take them back to her, then it can change. But until then, that's what we're going to do.
I'm glad that, I'm not married to him because I'll be asking for spousal support. I heard she's pregnant.
Oh.
So that number sounds about right.
She hears a lot.
Well, it doesn't sound like you disagree with anything she said. Yeah, it's right. Is there any other questions?
No questions.
Okay. Do you have anything
No,
further?
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Here's the conclusion. The judge locks in the support amount, $1,417 a month. Nicole objects, but the decision is final. She's told clearly, once you come get your kids and actually keep them, this can be reevaluated. But until then, the math doesn't lie. The courtroom clears and the judgment stands. Easley doesn't just leave with back pay. She leaves with validation. Nicole came in with excuses. The judge answered with accountability. And just like that, court is adjourned. But the consequences? Those are just beginning.